This video really does amaze me. The SEC and Ripple have finally reached a deal. You did hear that right, Ripple has won for sure. There has never been a more hopeful sign than this one. It's been years since we last had this happen. And during this whole time, XRP has been getting stronger for a huge pump. There are now experts who say that the price of Ripple coin could soon reach $10,000. That's pretty cool, right? You should not miss this video. Let's get right to the point without any more nonsense. Nota bene. The lawsuit between Ripple Labs and the SEC seems to be coming to an end after almost 4 years of court fights and market uncertainty. This time for real. The news quickly spread through the crypto community, and well-known people had something to say about it. It's over, Oscar Ramos wrote. While Jack the Rippler wrote, the SEC files a settlement letter in the SEC v. Ripple case. XRP prices were about to go through the roof. That's it, folks. These words showed how people felt about a case that has been going on for years and has become one of the most famous court battles in crypto. A letter sent by both Ripple and the SEC to Judge Annalisa Torres in the Southern District of New York is at the heart of the news. In this letter, the writer asks the court to lift the ban that was put on Ripple and let the $125 million civil penalty that was originally ordered be paid. The statement said that $50 million would be sent to the SEC and the other $75 million would be given back to Ripple. If the judge agrees, both sides will ask for the case to be sent back from the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit. This will give Judge Torres a chance to officially accept the settlement. For many people who are watching the case, this agreement means a lot more than just numbers. James Fillon, a lawyer, called and said, "Pay attention to the filing on social media, tweeting. SEC has filed the settlement agreement letter." But it was Fred Rispley, a crypto defense lawyer, who saw something in the deal that stood out. George Tenero, who was the SEC's chief legal counsel and had been very important to the case, wasn't there. "What's so great about this on the attached settlement agreement," Reese wrote, "zero shows from a certain Tenero. However, to be fair, he has had a really hard time keeping the IT room at the right temperature. That's something you can't just leave. People in the XRP community got the joke. People see Tenero's absence as a sign that the SEC is changing its goals and maybe even getting tired of a case that never gave the agency the regulatory precedent it wanted. The case that was made in December 2020 said that Ripple was selling securities that weren't registered through its XRP token. This caused a huge shock in the cryptocurrency market. Many big investors thought XRP was dangerous and took it off of major US exchanges for a long time, but Ripple refused to give up. Many big investors thought XRP was dangerous and took it off of major US exchanges for a long time, but Ripple refused to give up. CEO Brad Garlinghouse has always said that the SEC's approach of regulation by enforcement is wrong and promised to fight for clearer laws about digital assets. Ripple's hard work paid off in many ways. The company not only made it through the storm, but it also grew its business abroad and made its partnerships stronger. This most recent payment is a big deal. If the court agrees to lift the injunction and let the planned payment structure go through, Ripple will be able to do business in the US without the legal cloud that has been over it for years. This would also make it possible for XRP to be listed again on big exchanges, which would bring in a lot of new investors, especially institutions that had stayed away before because they weren't sure about the legality of it. Why is this event so important? Because it could set a standard for how the US enforces laws about digital assets in the future. The SEC's tough attitude has been getting more and more negative reviews. This retreat, in which the agency agreed to pay part of the fine and give up most of the funds, will likely be seen as a loss for regulators who wanted to have complete control over crypto. This is not only the end of a case for people who own XRP and support Ripple, it's also a victory. Putting up with delistings, bad news, and an uncertain future for years now seems like it was worth it. Ripple's future is no longer threatened by lawsuits as much as it used to be. "It's over," said a well-known text. XRP is about to go through the roof. That might sound like a bunch of talk, but this time it might be true. These aren't just titles or words that don't mean anything. Right now, the crypto world is on fire. There are good alarms being sounded by analysts, influential people, and even lawyers. They think something big is going to happen with XRP soon. A lot of people are calling it the beginning of a global earthquake. I'm telling you, you're not ready for what this could mean for prices and the crypto market as a whole. Maxi wrote on Twitter, "XRP will make a lot of people rich. The way people feel isn't just talk. It shows that people are becoming more sure that XRP is about to make a huge financial jump that could be unlike anything we've seen before." That's not all though. Crypto Sensei says that XRP is not just another currency that is about to go up in value. It's going to turn gold into units. Take that in. The idea behind XRP makes it more than just a bridge currency. It makes it a backbone for the next part of the global financial system. If XRP is used to buy and sell tokenized real-world assets like gold, its value could go up above and beyond dealing for fun. It might become important. Sensei says that XRP is going to turn gold into a token, which means that its value in the financial system could be higher than gold itself. Even cautious investors are beginning to see the value in that bold strategy. At the same time, Jack the Rippler keeps adding fuel to the fire with simple but powerful signs like XRP looks bullish. That may sound like fancy words, but in a market that is driven by momentum, those 3 words tell buyers everything they need to know. Then there are tweets like XRP to $300 by Lord Skrp, which has gone global. Anything is possible. I said all a dream. Perhaps. Is it all a dream? Perhaps. But in a place where meme-based tokens like Dogecoin used to go up by tens of thousands of %, XRP's triple-digit rise makes sense now that it's happening with real-world use and banking integration. Z went even further. He said that more than $55 trillion worth of assets in the US are ready to be turned into tokens, and that Ripple is in a great situation to lead this change. He says that the value of XRP could go from billions to trillions of dollars. The last part of his statement made a lot of people gasp. XRP could reach $10,000 because of this. That's not just talking about the moon. That's Mars. Now, though, things get really interesting. The idea that XRP could hit $10,000 isn't just a pipe dream. It has to do with strategy and psychology. A well-known XRP expert who is known for all things XRP recently questioned the idea of diamond hands. It sounds good, even daring, to hold until $10,000 is paid. The question is, what happens when you get real money? What if you have $100,000, then $1 million, and then $10 million? It's easy to picture what the expert says. A person who owns 10,000 XRP watch as their stock grows to $100 million. Are they really ready for more? Most wouldn't, because they have to deal with money problems, family obligations, and chances that could change their lives right now, not when the price is just right. They show up early and make you pay attention. Professional buyers don't bet on single price points, as the tweet says. They plan how to get out, take small profits, and handle risk like it's a business, not a dream. The expert says there are different types of hands: diamond hands, paper hands, and what could be the most powerful type, prepared hands. These are hands that have a plan, not just a slogan. We also can't forget about Ripple's alliances. A lot of people don't know this, but Ripple is slowly becoming part of the very structure of global banking. They are building links between huge payment routes and central banks that could change the way money moves. Ladies and gentlemen, we can't keep quiet about this because it could be the biggest sign of hope for XRP. In other words, things are changing quickly for XRP. And the growing use of the token around the world is one of the main things that will help it grow in the future. Ripple has positioned XRP so that it is not only a digital currency for speculation, but also a useful and necessary way to pay for things in the real world. Crypto.com's recent announcement that XRP payments can now be used at gas stations across the UAE is a big step forward in this journey, and this pay shows how far the token has come in becoming well known. It's a clear sign that XRP is becoming more important in one of the most innovative parts of the world. The UAE wants to become a blockchain and cryptocurrency hub, which makes it a great place for digital currencies to grow. XRP has a clear regulatory advantage in the region because it is the only cryptocurrency licensed by the UAE's Virtual Assets Regulatory Body. This is very important because cryptocurrencies are still having a hard time getting the backing they need from governments in many parts of the world. XRP has figured out how to work in the UAE, which could lead to even wider use in other places like it.